Hello everyone, this is Pablo with Crafties915, and before I start I want to apologize for taking so long in between videos. I know that I promised this video a long time ago, and so I finally had some time to go ahead and do it. Thankfully I've been very busy, with my regular gig and the t-shirt gig, so I can't complain about that, but I finally had some time to produce this video. And so today I'm going to show you how to do kiss cut and die cut stickers. And I'm also going to take some time to show you how to get rid of the weed border, especially on your die cut stickers. So if you want to learn how to do that, stick around. Okay, so here I have my sheet that I'm going to be printing. I have my settings on a letter size sheet, and I have my 6 images of the sticker that I'm going to print. Now, I probably could have fit a lot more in there, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So I want to, just keep it at 6 stickers that I'm going to print. Now, the first print that I'm going to do is going to be a kiss cut sticker. So I go to, after I have my register mark set and my images grouped, then I will go to File, Print, and make sure that I have the correct setting, which is going to be landscape, the correct printer, and my settings are going to be correct. If you print on plain paper, it's not going to give you that photographic quality. So do it on photo paper and have this matte photo paper setting. You might have to play with your settings depending on the printer that you have. On print quality, I'm going to go high on that one and then click OK. Okay, and so now I'm ready to print my stickers. So I will click OK, and off to my printer it goes. Okay, so now I'm ready to place my sticker sheet, my printed sticker sheet on my carrier sheet. For those of you that have purchased the carrier sheet from me, from my website, I have a trick for you. I marked the center of the sheet, with an arrow and a triangle. And, that shows me, where to place this protective sheet, back when I'm done using it. Otherwise, you're going to be, trying to figure out, where to place it. So this is a trick that I developed to place the protective sheet back on the carrier sheet and have a good placement on that. So I have my sticker sheet ready to be placed on my carrier sheet. I have my ink dry on my sticker sheet and squeegeeing this securely. And for good measure, just to be safe, I use some heat tape on the edges just to secure it a little bit more so that it doesn't lift up when it's going through the cutter and cause an error. And believe me, I've gone through that before. So there's my sticker sheet ready to be placed in the cutter and ready to be cut. Okay, and so with all contour cuts, you want to make sure that your blade is positioned directly on that first register mark right above. Okay, and you do that by taking the machine offline and moving the arrows accordingly. Once you have that, then you press on the origin set button. These lights will light up, and now you can bring your machine back online. Okay, so now it's ready to read those register marks and cut my stickers. Okay, so now we're ready to send the command to cut. So I go to File, Output. Now make sure that you are in the correct cut mode. Right now I'm in mode cut. This is for heat transfer vinyl. So that's not the one that I want. I'm going to choose my cut with AAS, which is the automatic alignment system. And I'm going to choose from my profiles my Kiss Cut stickers. And notice that the pressure is at 60, which is lower than the usual 80 used for heat transfer vinyl. And that's because I don't want it to cut, through, the paper. So let's preview that, how it's going to cut. Okay, there's nothing cutting. And this is another error that a lot of you make. And a lot of you ask me, my machine doesn't want to cut. It's not, reading. Well, because you have not created any contour marks. So there's nothing for it to cut. So what you have to do, you select your images. And these, I have already grouped them into a group. And the way you do that is by going to Design. I'm going to break the group. So that's one individual design. The way you do that is you scroll and drag, or click and drag all of the images in their entirety so that they're all selected. Go to Design and Group. So now this is all grouped. When I click out and I click on any of the images, it's going to select the whole group. So now I'm going to create the register marks. So with my group selected, I go to this button up top, Create Contour Line, or hit the K key. And the accuracy, I'd have it at low, which is okay. I mean, that's fine. The contour offset, I have it at 0.1 inches. That should give it a white border around, the sticker. If you don't want the white border, you would choose 0. But I like stickers to have that white border. On the color of the contour line, you can change it to any color you want. Okay, I chose that blue. And now you're going to calculate. Make sure that this Keep Interior Elements is checked off. If you check it, it's going to want to cut everything that's white inside the image out. And you don't want that. Okay, so check it off. The background recognition, right now it's not going to be applicable, but there's some other instances where it's going to be applicable, and we'll do those later. Now calculate, and there you go. There's all my contour marks on my stickers. So now it's ready to send to get cut. So I go to File, Output, click OK here. Select the right profile, always preview. There we go, and output. So now my machine is reading the register marks. And there it is. It's cut. Okay, so now that my stickers are cut, it's time for me to take off my sheet from my sticker sheet from my carrier sheet. So let's take these tapes off. And like I said, these tapes are only to secure the sticker sheet to the backing sheet to make sure that it doesn't shift. Sometimes they will shift with the force of the blade, or you know, you didn't put enough pressure when you were applying the sticker sheet to the carrier sheet and it would lift. So there we go. Okay, now I've already noticed that it went a little bit too deep on this sticker. So instead of doing a kiss cut, I tried to do a die cut. Okay, now let's take off the wheat border around it. And I can take the rest of this off. Okay, so if you noticed, I'm using a brand new blade and it tried to cut through this paper on some areas. And so it would behoove me to roll back the pressure on that a little bit, you know, that way it wouldn't, you know, cut through. But I've got a good couple of kiss cut stickers out of this one. It was 2 of them. Okay, so I had my pressure at 60 with a brand new blade. Usually that works if you know the blade is a little bit you know, used. You know, I might have my blade, you know, set a little bit too far out of the blade holder, and that's why it's, you know, cutting, you know, deeper. I might have also, you know, on my cutting strip, I may have some grooves that is making, you know, this blade, you know, to cut through. You know, so there could be different factors why some of them are cutting through and some of them are okay. So you have to play around with your machine. You know, like I said, you know, this is not an exact science, but you know, in the, you know, for the most part, if your cutting strip is in perfect condition, if your blade depth is in the right position, you know, you shouldn't have any problems. One of the things that I didn't do is I did not perform a test cut, and even if I did perform a test cut and it cut right, it did a kiss cut. If there's any grooves in my cutting strip, it is going to give me these problems. Okay, so my machine is telling me I'm going to have to replace my cutting strip real soon, and I will make a video of that. I will show you guys how to you know, change your cutting strip on your Expert II LX. But this is my stickers, so now I'm going to cut them. And so these are kiss cut stickers where you have a little bit of border of the backing paper, and then your sticker can just peel off like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and cut a second sheet doing the die cut method. Okay, so this time around we're going to do a die cut, which is going to be deeper. So let's go to File, Output. Now I already have my contour marks already set. So click OK. And on the output profile, I'm going to choose my die cut sticker. And notice that the pressure is greater for that material, which is at 75. Okay, I'm going to preview. Now, before I click on output to cut, I'm going to perform a test cut and to see how deep this is going to go. So let's do that. Okay, so to perform a test cut, I'm going to have my machine offline and then go to the cut test button. And it performed a cut test right there. So let's see how deep this went. Okay, and so my test cut is right here. It cut right under the sticker, but not deep enough to go all the way through the paper. So that means that I have to increase my pressure on my settings before I cut these. Okay, so let's go back to our program of Grade Cut 4 and increase the pressure on this. Okay, so because our test cut wasn't deep enough, we're going to exit out of this one by clicking on the X here, close. Then go to File, Output, click OK. And my pressure needs to be increased. And I'm going to increase it by a factor of 10. So this is going to go all the way up to 85. Okay. Let's preview. And now let's perform another test cut before we cut. Okay, and because I'm performing another test cut, I'm placing this outside of the register marks on my sticker paper, taking my machine offline and pressing the cut test button. Okay, and because my test cut that I did the second time around was not enough, I'm going to increase it. And I'm going to go to Output, click OK. And now this time I'm going to increase it by another factor of 10 to 95. And so the pressure now is set at 95 grams. Okay, and now I want to save this profile. So I will go to Manage Profiles. Okay, and I'm on the die cut sticker profile, and I'm going to save profile. So the changes were saved successfully. Click OK. Now I go to Preview, and I click on Output so that my machine can start cutting. Okay, so there we go. And so now these stickers should be cut deep enough to just take out of the sheet. So there's one. There's two. Three. 4, 5, and 6. And notice that the cut didn't go through my carrier sheet. You know, the carrier sheet is still intact. And as a matter of fact, I didn't need this wheat border to be cut at all. And so let me show you how to do that. The only thing is that when you uncheck the wheat border box, if you save the settings, then the next time that you cut anything, it won't have a wheat border. Okay. Notice that it did leave a very small cut, but it wasn't too deep that it cut through the carrier sheet. So those are things that you have to experiment with on your machine and your individual blade. I'm working with a new blade, and so I'm going to roll back on the kiss cut. Probably I had it at 60, I'll probably go back to 55. And then on the die cut, the 95 seemed to work very, very well. Now, one thing that I need to warn you about is that when you're cutting die cut stickers, if you don't have a carrier sheet to hold your sheet and it cuts through, your machine is going to cut through and it's going to make grooves on your cutting strip on your machine. These little grooves, it's going to make that. And so you don't want that. You always want to be using a carrier for your sticker sheets, especially if you're doing the die cut. Okay, so when you're cutting stickers, you really don't need a weed box. Okay, and so let me show you how to get rid of that weed box. So that you don't have that weed box around, your stickers. So you go to File, you go to Output, click OK. Now over here on this right-hand side of your settings, you have a weed border checkbox. Okay, if you uncheck it, then you won't have that weed border cut. So you will only have your stickers or your contour cut. So just by unchecking this, you will get rid of that weed border. The weed border, you can increase or decrease the size however you like, but I'll do that on another video. If you want to save your settings, you can save your settings, but these settings are universal. So once you save these settings, these are going to be the settings that are going to be for all of your cuts, even your regular HTV cuts. So this, you can uncheck or check, and then you can save your settings. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned the difference between the kiss cut and the die cut stickers. I hope that you get to use that. Remember that you have to play around with the machine. depending on the settings that you have, depending on the blade. I'm using a new blade, so usually the 60 was good enough for the kiss cut, but however, there were some places where it cut through. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and adjust my settings and roll back the pressure a little bit on the kiss cut, and then on this one 95 was perfect. I could probably roll back to about an 85 and it would cut good, but 95 was good enough. It was deep enough and it didn't cut through my carrier sheet. So thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe. I know there's a lot of you watching, but not all of you have subscribed. So help me out, subscribe. I'll try to put more content more often. And if you are learning and if you have any suggestions, just let me know. And I will get, to those suggestions as soon as I can. In the meantime, thank you very much. God bless you and happy crafting.